Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm hoping that you're having a wonderful start to your new year. I've been doing some really good inner work in the last couple of days, just really reviewing 2022, everything I've learned, what were my challenges, what were my successes, where's some greater opportunity for growth for 2023? What did happen that was great in 2022 that I want to keep doing in 2023? So just really doing a life review, a year in review, and then also focusing on what do I want to bring in 2023. So I've decided that 2023 is the year of me. I'm happy for any of you to take that on as well. And that means I'm going to be really focused on my own continued growth and doing the things that light me up from the inside out. Those things that get my soul intelligence really going. And one of those things is what I'm really super excited about, which is teaching other healers and other healthcare practitioners how to use my method, the soul intelligence method, and to be able to add that to their practices so that they can create longer, more lasting results, and especially help people who are dealing with chronic issues. So, how does this whole method work? And what is this method that I speak of? Well, I learned a method a long time ago that used a book of charts and a pendulum. So I had the sense of how to use a book of charts and a pendulum. And this methodology kind of introduced me how to use that. Well, at least in this lifetime. For those of you that believe in past lives, I'm pretty sure I've been doing this. I have a really close girlfriend who I'm so excited I'm going to see next weekend. She nicknamed me K-Wiz a long time ago, that I'm a wizard. Like, how do I get all this stuff done? So I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of my past lives, being a wizard. But what was this methodology I'm talking about? Well, we first have to start with science to begin with. And I think we can all agree that everybody and everything is energy. And because of that, we all have energetic fields, right? Energy, it emanates, right? We're protons, neutrons, electrons, they're all spinning around. It creates this electromagnetic field that's around our bodies and every object or thing that we see. And so energy naturally can get stuck in people, places, or things, and it can get stuck in our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, um, even our energetic bodies, right? So we've got all of these fields, and the energy, emanates from us. Energy is everything. It's the only way I'm able to communicate with you here on the internet. I can't tell you how it works, but I know that it's energy, right? That's this frequency, this vibration that allows you to see me and me to see you, kind of. It's the same thing with radio waves. You can't see it, but we can hear it, right? It's an energy, it's a vibration. And so, knowing this, we also know that we can measure energies and vibrations, right? There is a great, I'm going to share with you something. I'm going to hold up in a second. There is a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. And Dr. David Hawkins actually conducted studies on how to measure hertz, okay, the frequency of emotions. So you probably heard of these science experiments where you scream at a flower, all kinds of negative things, and the flower shrivels up, right? It contracts, it dies. And then you've also seen the experiments where you talk to the flower lovingly and tell it how amazing it is and how you're so excited to see it bloom and you can't wait to see what comes forth in the plant next, and it flourishes. Okay, that's expansive, that's love. And so I'm going to hold up this chart. I don't want you to go blind trying to see it, but this is a chart that I use, one of the charts that I use to kind of measure where somebody's state is when we first start a session, and then where are they when they end. And typically, you're down here at the bottom of the scales in the alpha waves, and the idea is to move up the scale, at least into the theta waves. I feel like I'm a forecaster trying to do this, as you can see. To get you into the theta waves so that you're in a better state. Things like love and peace and prosperity, all of those things are at the top of the scale. And things like guilt and shame and perfectionism at the bottom of the scale. Do you know perfectionism is actually below fear? Wow. And we hold ourselves to that kind of a level, right? In a lot of the areas of our life. So what my methodology does, okay, is it helps move emotions, okay, stuck energies out of a person's physical body, mental body, emotional body, energetic body. What does that do? Well, there was a study, or there was actually a science called, oh gosh, it's the study of bioenergetics. And that it started, well, at least in the 1950s, where they really started to document it, where your emotional well being, your emotional health is correlated, directly correlated to your physical well being and health, which shouldn't come as a big surprise, right? You've heard about people who have had long term illnesses and how depressed they get. And you've also heard about people diagnosed with long term illnesses who kept a positive mindset and believed they would heal, and they healed, right? The power of our emotions, our beliefs are huge. And when you start to couple that with what we know about brain science, okay, and that our conscious mind only takes up 5% of our brain activity, right? That's how often we're like our conscious mind, all that thinking, all that strategizing, all of that planning, all of that stuff is only 5% of our conscious mind. What's operating most of the time, okay, is our unconscious mind, our subconscious. Okay, and our subconscious mind responds to emotions and beliefs. That's why if you just say positive affirmations, that's good. That's a spark. That's the electric part of the electromagnetic field. It all has to start with a spark, like the ignition and the match and the flame. But what gets that particle to collapse and come into you and magnify things to you is emotion and belief, right? And beliefs are created by repetitive thoughts, right? And repetitive feelings. And sometimes those feelings are so destructive that they cause a dissonance in our frequency, okay, or dis-ease within the body. And you need to go see a doctor because whatever's gone on is so critical now that it's manifested in the physical to get your attention to deal with it. So, what does my method do? My method cuts through the clutter and allows us to get to the root cause of what's going on energetically in the body and what's going on emotionally. And if you are a healthcare practitioner, if you are a healer of any kind, most of what you deal with are people who have chronic conditions, right? People who need to see you on a regular basis to try and get things to shift. Sometimes you're seeing people for the same condition over and over. Sometimes you fix one thing and then it's another thing and another thing and another thing. And that's because we're not actually getting to the root emotional cause for the manifestation, right? For the physical ailment, for the challenges that person continues to go through. And that's because we have to help them on an energetic level, mental, emotional, spiritual level, even to help them fully heal and fully shift. Yes, we can take things in our physical body to help us move forward. I am a big believer in nutraceuticals. I am so happy that I got the opportunity to work in this past year. That's one of the things I'm super grateful for, to work more closely with Nutritional Frontiers. And I understand now how what we put into our body can physically support our body even better, right? It's kind of the same thing as a computer, garbage in, garbage out. So yes, there are things we can take in the physical to help our body shift. And while we're doing that, also work on what needs to shift mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or energetically. So how do I do this? Well, I set up a sacred space. And what I mean by that is making sure that, I've asked for protection so that when we do shift energies, that it goes back to the spark, to the electromagnetic field, to the divine of all that is, wherever it needs to go. And then it doesn't land in any person, place, or thing. That is one of the things what we do. And then I ask what needs to shift in somebody's best and highest good. So sometimes we don't even know what's there, right? We don't know what's stuck in our subconscious mind. And there are ways to train your subconscious mind and to work with your subconscious mind to get things to shift, to change your beliefs, besides the help that I can provide to shift these stuck emotions, negative energies and thoughts, and self-limiting beliefs out. So sometimes it's learning what those things are. A really good doctor friend of mine, who refers patients to me, clients to me, said, it's amazing that you're actually able to help somebody shift the trauma up and out without them having to relive it. And in some other methodologies, like psychotherapy, it's helpful for people to talk about things, to recognize what's really stuck or what's caused this pain. But they have to relive it, right? You have to experience it again, and cry it out or feel it out. That is one way to release emotions. Obviously, physical activity is a great way to release emotions. If you know anything about me at all, I'm a big avid tennis player. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited because two of the teams that I play on are going to the state sectionals championship this weekend in Orlando. So I'm excited. We're going to get to play. But physical, movement can move emotions out sometimes, that physical exertion. But the trickiest ones are usually stuck in there, and they're usually the things we're not aware of. So how do I do this? So besides setting up a sacred space and making sure that whatever needs to shift shifts, I have a book of charts that I use and a pendulum. And the pendulum just goes over the different slices on the chart, kind of like a pie slice. I have a table of contents, and that's where we start. And then I let the divine or our guides or any of those folks on the other side who are with us, supporting us, loving us, and guiding us, provide information and help me know exactly what to shift up and out. Inevitably, after I've worked with someone, they are just blown away. They can't believe, like, how did you know that? And it's not me, it's the information that's coming through me. So I feel very blessed that I'm able to share this gift. So there are things like core challenges that we go through in life. It could be a control and power challenge, an authority challenge, something heredity, right? Sometimes we carry things through our family line, or we're healing things for our ancestors, right? Just like you might pass a disease down. There are things, negative consequences in our life. So there's different challenges we go through. That's just one chart. Okay, I've got a chart that talks about roles and timelines. So whether you believe that we're only living this one life and we better get it all in or not, time is really spatial. It's not really linear, but that's a conversation for another day. But regardless, if something's affecting you, either from this existence or another, we can shift it up and out. But I can get a lot more information using that chart. I've got lower force energies. So we're often around, you've heard, when you're around negative people, you tend to absorb some of that stuff, and then you start to feel bad and negative. So you got to be wary about who you're hanging out with, or help them shift so that you don't feel that anymore. But I've got a couple different charts of negative energies, emotions, thoughts, things that we just talked about, like guilt and shame and perfectionism and self-destruction, all of these things that affect our ability to move forward in this life in the way in which we want to. Then I've got two charts of positive energies, emotions, and thoughts. What are we blocking? What are we not allowing in? Maybe it's love of self. That's what I think most people struggle with, the relationship with themselves, which is why 2023 is the year of me. I am totally focused on investing in me and being around people who truly love me and support me, and doing things that really I love to do and support me. Like teaching people the soul intelligence method. That is like my biggest calling and passion. I want more healthcare professionals out there and healers using my methodology to help impact more people. I'm only one person, so the best thing that I know how to do to spread this around and have a greater impact is to teach other people how. And that's what I'm going to do. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a free webinar. I should have talked about this sooner. I'm doing a free webinar next Tuesday, the 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in coming, all you have to do is send me a direct message, and I will be happy to sign you up. What I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be doing a session. I'm going to be talking about case studies and people that I've helped. Like I've worked with about 15 different healthcare professionals who have sent me individuals and clients to help them. And if you talk to any of the healthcare professionals or healers I know, most of the time that they are with a patient, they're actually helping and counseling to some level, right? Because usually it's all of the other stuff that's going on in somebody's life that's impacting their physical well-being. So I'm going to be sharing with you, and I'll be doing a group session, which means you will get to receive And I'm setting the intention that anybody who attends or watches the session on replay will also receive the benefit. So if you're interested, you want to check this out, next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing a live webinar. I'm very excited to share the method up close and personal. And like I said, share with you a little bit more about my story and some of the people that have had really dramatic impact from my work. All right. So besides negative energies, emotions, and thoughts, people have patterns, right? And repeating patterns, or something we call archetypes in their life. And those things have a tendency to show up. I've got 2 pages over 100 different types of archetypes that could be affecting you. And usually it's multi-level, multi-layered. There's things that affect our change and freedom, our freedom to move about the world. There's, mental and psychological disorders. Now, if it's behavioral, we can usually shift it. But if it's, or mental, sometimes it's just up here in our head. But if it's neurological, then obviously that's something that you may need to have, see somebody else to help move up and out. I've got multiple healing charts, from body systems to physical healing, to nutrition, health, and wellness, to natural healing therapies. Because sometimes, in addition to doing the work that we do together, you do need additional physical support, right? You might need some nutraceuticals. You might need to get a massage. You might need chiropractic work. You might need to take, more water in. So there could be a lot of things that come up. Now, obviously, not being a doctor, I can't prescribe anything to you. I can download the energy of that essence and what it's saying would support you. And then you can choose to take something in the physical or not. I've got a whole chart on career and work challenges that come up. Anybody have challenges at career and work? Whether it's relationships or sales or marketing or mergers and acquisitions, there's a lot of different things that come up at work. Then there's a whole chart of self-limiting beliefs. I'm sure you can count on some of those, the feeling invisible, or feeling different, or I'm crazy, or I'm not enough. That's a big one. There's a lot of different self-limiting beliefs, and that really clouds your vision and the ability for you to function in the world at your highest level. And then I've got other cool support. There are ascended masters and angels and other beings that really can help us and that we can call on for support. Most of us forget that there are people out there that can help us. There are energies that are out there that can help us. And we think we have to do everything alone. So this year, one of the things I'm doing is I'm committing to talking to the Council of Light. That's like the spiritual UN. I'm going right to the top and asking them to support me in my life purpose this year. Then there's physical things like crystals and stones, or plants, or different essences like herbal essences, Bach flower remedies. There's a lot of things that can help you in the physical. Then I've got toxic masculine and feminine, as well as healthy masculine and feminine energies. Then animals, sometimes there's messages from the animals. There's different symbology that we can look at. And certainly I'm always wanting to download some power, love, and light to everybody at the end of the session. So the soul intelligence method is something that can really complement any healthcare professional or healer's practice. And I'm also going to share some of my business wisdom to help you kick off your practice if you aren't actually out there working with clients. I'll be happy to share about how I did it and how I work with the healthcare professionals that I do today. So I hope I've piqued your interest. If I have, send me a direct message. Let me know what you're thinking about the method. And if you want to attend the webinar, like I said, it's totally free. It's going to be next Tuesday, the 9th, at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I will be happy to send out a personal invitation to get you to come. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, happy New Year. And loved learning a little bit more about the soul intelligence method. And I cannot wait to certify new practitioners next year and get this amazing method in the hands of healers and healthcare professionals who need it. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Talk soon.